well. So if you're new here, hi, we're going to talk about the lineup. We're going to talk about this matchup on the gold medal game here. So if you're new, TikTok, you're trickling in, YouTube, you're trickling in. Usually on TikTok, the comments come in kind of hot and heavy. So I may not see you, just keep trying, or go on to YouTube. And let's get Brazil's starting lineup up too. 11 Olympics. Let's see how long it takes me to successfully Google it to see what they're starting. Why? Yep, of course, this gives me entirely the U.S.'s lineups. Thoughts on Marta not starting? I'm not surprised. She's been missing now for, 2 matches. Team's done well without her. Let her come in afterwards. Not super surprised there. So our midfield is going to non-existent today. Laughing my ass off. I think this is the correct starting midfield today. So I think that you're going to be all right with this double pivot. I think this at least frees Lindsay Horan up not to have the same defensive obligations. So sorry, y'all. I'm still trying to get. I want to see Brazil's starting lineup. Why can't I find that? Like maybe ESPN gold medal game, Brazil, USA, soccer. Let's see what I've got it. The Google interface for these games has been really interesting. So let's see. All right. Oh God, now this people gonna have to go live. Good morning, everybody. Listen, okay, y'all are worried about Lindsay Horan. This is the best setup for her to succeed. She doesn't have the same defensive obligations. She gets to go and float and be the 10. She gets to find space between the runners. She gets to continue to be an aerial threat. So this is kind of the best case scenario of what you're going to see with Lindsay Horan starting. All right, so we've got Brazil's starting lineup here. They did go with the Yaya Sampaio central midfield combo. I do think that's their strongest combo. So this looks good. Yeah, I think they've got their starting lineup correct relatively. Rafa obviously on the bench still kind of, but she is back available, which is a little surprising. So, you've been waiting for this live all morning. Aurelie, thank you. Will Rose sub in? I don't know. Probably. I think so. I would think that that's an option, just depending on how things are going. So let's see. I really feel for Hal and Jane not getting their medals, but that's an alternate. That's the job. Jill, thank you for the rose. All right. Good morning. Go U.S. Women's National Team. All right. Let's see. Hope we score early. Thoughts on USA money line in regular time. Let me see what it was. Pull it up. Yeah, I mean, I think you should be fine. It's hard. Everybody's tired, so I don't know. I think everybody's gonna be. I think there's a chance it doesn't, but I feel good about this being done in regular time. So, I do think if it is done in regular time, it will be the U.S. Need a shot of triple espresso. I do too. I'm clearly not. My brain's not on yet. Let's see. Can I explain the double pivot? Sure. So that's when you play with 2 defensive midfielders. So normally, right, each midfielder kind of has a different role. You got an attacking midfielder, you got a box-to-box, like an 8. That's a true central midfielder. And you got a defensive midfielder, 6, or the pivot. You play a double pivot, which means you've got 2 that kind of stay home. They're not meant to go running up forward onto big runs. They kind of sit there and anchor the midfield. It takes up space right in a place that's very convenient for defenses to counterattack. It also helps give you really good stability for distributing the ball. So that is why we're doing it. Am I showing the game? No, I'm not. That's the 3 espresso. Yeah, we can do it. I think I want to hear it sung. Over under 2.5. I was thinking under because Brazil lacks shots on offense. Yeah, I like the under here. I think this is going to be a 1. I think this is likely to be a 1-0 win either direction. So, and I enjoy getting to hear about gambling takes. Do I like Corbin versus Sonnet in the midfield? So today's choice, I think you did not have a choice to put Sonnet in the midfield. 1, because I don't know whether Tierna Davidson is healthy enough that you think she can go the full 90. But if she's not, you need to have Sonnet available for that option. And 2, Emily Sonnet hasn't played the midfield at all this tournament. Well, obviously she can play the midfield, and she's, that's I think her best position. When you haven't played it in a tournament, you're going to go with somebody who's been playing it in the tournament. So let's see. Hope to see Alex Morgan score today. I have some news for you. Brazil capitalized on mistakes against Spain. Do you think we can keep the ball most of the game? Yeah, I think we can definitely keep possession. I also just think that we are not as vulnerable to those mistakes because Like, we are vulnerable to them in the midfield, but who's our back line? Like, Naomi Girma ain't letting that happen. Crystal Dunn ain't letting that happen. Emily Fox ain't letting that happen. So, what do I think about the bronze match? So, yeah, it was a little lackluster. But I didn't really enjoy it that much. I mean, I'm glad Germany won because I think Spain have been kind of poor sports about the whole thing. Let's see. Brazil surprise win. I mean, I don't think it would be so much as a surprise. I think if Brazil wins here, I think they're very capable of it. I think it will require them to capitalize on our mistakes. I don't think they generate a lot themselves. Tiffany, thank you for the roses. Ready for that trend spin. Yeah, we all want to see it. It's also Soph's birthday, Mal's 100th cap. Brazilian American here. I'm not well. Oh, I know that feeling very well from when Sweden and the US play. It's really rough. Oh, you just found out Germany won. Yeah, I think that the bronze medal match can mean a lot more in other sports. I've never gotten the sense it means a ton within women's soccer. And I could be wrong on that, right? But I just don't. I don't think so. Let's see. Not starting Marta. Yeah, so if you missed it, Brazil's not starting Marta. I'm not super surprised. She's missed the first two. She missed quarters, she missed semis. Ultimately, you've got things starting to coalesce. Brazil is going with a stronger midfield pairing of Dudas and Powell and Victoria Yaya. So I think that's their best starting lineup. Cass, thank you for the rose. Channel for the US, it's on NBC proper. It got upgraded to regular ass NBC. Nothing weird. Not NBC Sports, not USA, not MSNBC. It is on regular NBC. So Rose not starting, correct. So I think that is for us to go with a double pivot. So in order to play a double pivot, you either had to ask Lindsay Horan to do it, and she's not going to do it, or at least not going to do it well. So you have to put Corbin Albert in. That means you're taking Horan or Lavelle off, and you're not taking Horan off in this game. So that's Lindsay. That's what's going on. Rose Lavelle is on the bench. Do I think she can sub in? Yes, I think I would look for her to sub in for potentially Horan, or for Mal Swanson. I think those are kind of the other options. Yeah, you can also find it on Peacock. You can. Penalties. I think this gets done in regular time. Rugby Princess, thank you for the hand hearts. Appreciate you. All-time favorite forward for US Women's National Team, that'd be Abby Wambach. Nobody doesn't like Abby. Abby was just such a force. She was really fun to watch. How healthy do you think Davidson is? And if Davidson is healthy, I would put Stott in the midfield. Yeah, I think that's the issue. With those contusions, it's you're kind of there's stuff you can do to make yourself comfortable for a little bit, but it's often not a full 90 if it's not healed. Caitlin, thank you for all the roses. I appreciate you. It's really nice of you. Let's see. Do the alternates get a medal only if they were rostered for one of the games? So Croy and Emily Sams will get medals, but Jane Campbell and Hal Hirschfeld will not. Swoulston, thank you for the rose. Sonnet makes me nervous back there. Loving Fox, and I didn't see what the next part was, but Sonnet's not as good as Tyrion Davidson, but she has absolutely worked hard and done well in the pinch. Why is breakdancing an Olympic sport? I don't think it's ever going to be again. I think fatigue will be a big issue for us. Today, I would hope not. I think the extra day of rest is pretty crucial. So, who is our biggest liability? Our biggest liability is the midfield, but I think that gets limited somewhat by the double pivot. The issue with the double pivot here, to the extent there's an issue, is it's not really Corbin Albert's best position either. Corbin Albert just is your best next available option to play it when you need to have Emily Sonnet ready to play center back. So she does not distribute forward particularly well. You'll notice it if you just watch Corbin Albert, she's just gonna ping it to whoever she's facing. She's not really doing the work to look up and find the distribution lanes. And ideally, in a double pivot, you want both people doing that. The great news is Sam Coffey is fantastic at it. Naomi Girma is fantastic at it. And a large part of what is required in a double pivot, and indeed the key thing, if you're only going to get one thing right, is the positioning. And Corbin Albert can do that. So I would think that that's a risk for us, is you're kind of taking a player out of a midfield distribution role just for positioning purposes. That's kind of a liability for us. So Brazil not starting Marta is bad for us, right? I mean, I don't know. Brazil's made a lot of confusing decisions, I think. I think Brazil's been very quick on the counter. They do a really good job taking advantage of other people's mistakes and finishing them. But if you go back, you don't have time to go back and watch it because we're going to start this one in 20 minutes. But if you go back and watch them against Spain, you go back and watch them against France, and really their other three games, they are not generating their own chances. Like, none of that is their own chance generation. The closest they come is with the Sampao Yaya central midfield. Otherwise, they are just taking advantage of mistakes, and you can play that way. You absolutely can. I mean, shoot, Spain, frankly, is lucky that Brazil only scored 4 goals. So that's kind of their vibe. Yeah, Brazil's playing vibes. Summer Scott. That's not inaccurate. Let's see. Dodgeball should be an Olympic sport. I would like to watch it. I like watching the new sports. I think the new sports are fun. I genuinely enjoy that. So, why is Albert not being played in the position she was so good at in college? Because we have other people who can play it. So, that would be why. Let's see. Isn't our issue biggest issue that Horan passes to the other team? It can be. Jim, thank you for the roses. But Horan is not going to be, like, if you're thinking back in your head to that game against Germany, right, where, like, everybody's tired, the touches are off, like, Horan literally, like, does a back heel, like, in the defensive third, mind you, and then a German player runs on. Chris, thank you for the rose. You're not going to see that here, because at the 10, she should not be going that deep. She's going to be, like, doing her weird float high thing where you almost wonder, is this a bizarro 4-4-2? Is she playing up top? That's what she's going to do in the 10. Lexi, thank you for the roses. Do I think Brazil will work out the low block? I don't think it's a proper low block. I don't actually think they have a proper low block in them. I think that they've got a couple of very strong defenders. VLP 150, thank you for the heart puffs. So, odds for USA to beat Brazil, like the actual odds, or I mean, I think we have the upper hand here. I think this will be a low-scoring game. I do think this is going to go 1-0 either way, and probably in regular time. I don't think, again, Brazil is a team that's been scoring. Oh, thank you, KS, for the hat and the mustache. I always love that one. I do think this is 2 teams that have really gotten by on the strength of their defense. Oh, Sophia, welcome to the team. Love to have you. So isn't it weird they aren't starting Marta? You find it weird they aren't starting Marta. I don't, because it just hasn't played the last 2 games. And somebody wants to see the pug. I've got a pug right here. So this is Guinness. He's my foster pug. And he is meeting his forever family today. Huh. I know. You're very cute. If they don't like you, you are welcome to stay here. Maddie, thank you for joining the team. If you're wondering what the team is, it's just the heart button above you on TikTok. I don't know what that means to join the team, but a big heart lights up, so you're welcome to join the team here. And on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't already, because that helps me get paid. Let's see. Breakdancing was a vibe, if nothing else. I don't disagree with that. I blew like 2 hours of my day watching breakdancing. Do I think Lavelle not starting is good for her health going forward? I think that to the extent that mistakes have been made with Rose Lavelle's minutes management that impact her health, those mistakes have already been made, if that makes sense. I don't know if it's like, this is not going to make or break her. Or if you're asking me if that means like she's healthy later, or if this is like an injury adjustment, I do not think this is an injury adjustment today. This is a tactical adjustment. This looks very clearly like we should have. Why not start Sonnet as defensive mid? That if Tierna needs to be subbed off, she moves to center back and you sub on Albert. See, that is a thing you could do, Hannah. But I think again, Emily Sonnet has not played like in the midfield at all this tournament. So how is she going to go? Is it going to flow well? We don't really know, right? I mean, probably because she plays there and can play there, and that's her, I think her best position. But you don't know. So you're better off just putting Albert in at that point, who I think you feel good about. Because the counterpoint is like, let's say it's going horribly. Let's say Tierna Davidson is able to go the whole game, Sonnet's in, and it's not going well because like she just hasn't been playing this position that tournament, and you want to sub her off. Well, you can't sub her back on if something happens to Davidson. So that's, I think, why you end up doing this. Chaos, thank you for the heart puffs. Haram haters in Paradise's tournament. They are. There's not really much to say about it. Like, she hasn't played well. Is Caroline not rostered today? I don't think she is, actually. Let me check. Yeah, she's not rostered today. So I don't know if she, is not. I thought this was very ambitious for her recovery. You don't see, if there are other Arsenal fans here, we've obviously watched people reintegrate after ACLs. It's a little non-linear. And I think it was very ambitious to roster her for this tournament. So, yeah, let's get a goal early. Would love to see it. I'm a Haran hater. Like, listen, like I said, I get it. I fully get how people have ended up on that spot with her. So do you think Rose would start over Haran if Haran wasn't the captain in this game? No. Badis or Baddies, I don't know. Thank you for the rose. Listen. Bramblewood, you always come through with the hat and mustache. Thank you for that. You need some size out there, and you do not have that. We are such a small team right now, and that is something I think the pool needs to look at going forward, because if you are somewhere where there are not tall people or there are not big bodies, that's one thing. We are not that in the US. You should be able to field more players that are over 5'8". You should. But Lindsay Horan's out there because she does provide that threat, and I think that's important. So let's see. We miss Sanders. We do. So have to imagine Fox doesn't play in the Arsenal friendly tournament. Yeah, I think anybody who's gone this far is going to get some time to rest. I don't think she's going to play into the Arsenal stuff this week. I have to imagine she gets rest as well. Does Jenna Nice-Wanger sub on today? Yes, potentially. I thought Jenna Nice-Wanger in the semifinal against Germany had a relatively good outing. Again, still working on that defensive positioning, but I thought her individual defensive moments were better. Those are two separate skill sets. So, and of course her distribution is lights out. So depending on how Brazil comes out, I could see her subbing on, especially if Davidson is healthy. Because if Davidson's healthy, those two play on the same side together. There was a gift. Buddies or Batty. Thank you for more roses. Thoughts on the kit switch? Should we go blue today? Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I'm going to be really honest with you all, just a confession. I've worn the same kit the entire tournament, and I actually haven't washed it at all. Because I became superstitious. I didn't wash it between 2 games, and then I was like, oh, well, here we are. So I feel superstitious about staying in white, and I'm not even in the proper white kit for this tournament. So we'll rose sub for Corbin. I think it's just going to depend on game flow and what's happening. I would see her more likely as a sub for, I think it could be for Corbin, could be for Horan, could be for Mal Swanson. Kelly O'Hara didn't watch yours either. That makes me feel so much better. Oh, okay. Denny on YouTube is also saying the same. Okay. You all are making me feel better, because I just, I got weirdly superstitious about it. I was like, I can't do it. It's got, stains. We're going to have to really Dawn power wash this bad boy. When does the game start? It starts in 10 minutes. So they should be walking out soon. Let's see. I think Lavelle will be crucial for the second half of the game. She's been much better in the midfield. I think she's been great in the midfield. I think we're going to just have to see how this goes, because you do need it. The double pivot is the correct call here. What adjustments you make off of it is a little bit interesting. Do I think Taylor Kordiak should get a call-up? She is 6'1". So I would like to see her getting more involved in the pool again, because I do think her size is helpful. And I think she's been playing better with Louisville. I don't know if she's been playing well enough where I would say we need to call her in. So, okay, everybody, we're all in this together with the laundry thing, which is great. I've seen people on both TikTok and YouTube saying they did not wash their clothes either. So, that's great. And look, our sacrifices got us to this gold medal game, and it's a team sport, right? Christy Mewes is not getting called in again. No. Y'all, I know everybody loves Christy Mewes. I love Christy Mewes. But listen, was a cusp player for this pool her whole career, and is now, sorry, I keep saying it, wrong side of 30. No, not going to happen. It's and with injury trouble. So, yeah, I think you gotta give up on Christy Mewes coming back to the U.S. Women's National Team. But again, that's not knock on her. I think a lot of her not getting in the pool has been kind of things we talked about on here, where it's a little bit like catching lightning in a bottle. You have to get seen at the right time, be getting hot at the right time. There's so many things here, and she's a talented player who earlier in her career very much deserved more time. But right now, that's just not the direction we're going. So I don't think we can plan on having both Horan and Lavelle in at the same time with a double pivot. You are correct. But I think you could, in theory, if you decided to pull Swanson. So, but I don't think you can do that with a double pivot in. Correct. I think you're potentially pulling Corbin Albert and then asking Lindsay Horan to go play the double pivot, or you're abandoning the double pivot. That's also a thing that could happen. So, all right. Oh, all right. Badis joining the heart team. Thank you for joining the team. Let's see. Haven't washed mine in the Emma era. Love it. We're all saving money. Why not? Allison, thank you for the rose. What song do you think Trinity Rodman sings when they do karaoke? Oh, I'm going to have to think on that. Does she do karaoke? Because I could see her not being the karaoke person. I know she's the TikTok dancer, but I don't think that she's the karaoke girl. I don't see that for her. Let's see. Am I streaming the game? No, I'm not. Grace, thank you for joining the team. Appreciate you. Okay, your reminder here, if you're new, if you're on TikTok, hi, there's like almost 800 of you. If you're on YouTube, there's almost 100 of you, so we are growing. TikTok, the comments come in fast and furious, so I don't always see them, so just send them again, or come join me on YouTube where they stay a little bit longer. So, and I can see them more often. Lexi, thank you for the roses. Oh, and Ginger, thank you for the let them cook. I'm surprised Brazil benched Angelina. Did they? I thought she was. Wait, was she? No, she's not starting today. You're right. She's on the bench. Yeah, I am too. I thought she was pretty effective. But I think she'll still. I think she'll come in off the bench and be, do as well as she has previously. So, oh, thank you, Ava. I appreciate the kind words. Why isn't Emma playing Jaden? I think at this point she was not available the first 3 matches, so she didn't get any minutes or any chance to work in. And I think Emma is very cognizant of working people in appropriately and making sure that everybody has a familiarity and a chemistry and not really shaking things up too much. That's why you've seen the same starting 11 almost every single match. So Jaden Shaw, I don't expect to see her get time today either. So, well, they were talking about karaoke in the presser, and they mentioned that Trin is decent at it. I missed that. Okay. I know, and Emma, I saw Emma's subtle TikTok dig. That was funny. Why, Albert? I don't think you have another option to play the double pivot for reasons we've discussed on here about Emily Sonnet. You need to keep Emily Sonnet available in case Tina Davidson is injured. And as we kind of gamed through, if Emily Sonnet came in and did not play the pivot well, and then you also had to take, so you need to sub her off, but take Tina Davidson off, but like those two things don't happen at the same time. You're in kind of a weird no man's land. So where do I watch the pressers? So the pressers, I usually just see clips of them on Twitter, but usually US Soccer has them up in full like a day later or so. So, Maddie, I'm not streaming the game. You can try to find somebody else on here doing it. Shea Butter FC is not streaming the game itself, but they will have live commentary going throughout it. So if you want somebody, if you want to check out like a live watch, that's a good one. National Anthem is starting. Okay, y'all, do you know what that means? I will see you all at halftime and post-match in the event of extra time. I will not be here between the regular time whistle and extra time. Super fun hanging out with you all. Like, subscribe, follow, all those things, and let's fucking go. All right, YouTube, I always say bye to you a second.